This is ERIC Firstsearch Part 3, combining your facets for a full 3-facet search. In the past video, I checked out subject headings for each facet, and I've done single facet searches for each of the 3 facets as shown in the previous video. Now it's time to put them all together. I also mentioned I'd be talking about what you can do if there are more than 3 subject headings. ERIC doesn't let us do in the advanced mode more than 3 lines of subject headings. So what are we supposed to do about that? And the answer is to learn ERIC's own syntax so you have more control. You've seen how ERIC interprets your single facet search using SU for a single term subject heading and SU equals with quotes and parentheses for subject phrases. From there, it's a simple step to writing your own syntax, learning from ERIC. Take a look here at the Facet 2 subject headings. Not only are there 4 subject headings, but there's 1 single word subject heading, reading, and 3 subject heading phrases. Translating that into ERIC speak means using the syntax. In this image, I've translated that entire Boolean statement directly into ERIC's own syntax. First, at the top, I'm showing you each individual facet. Then, in the next section, you can see the entire search statement under combined search syntax. Notice the use of parentheses to ensure that each facet stays together, and how facets are combined with AND. You may want to pause and look at that for a minute. I can copy and paste this entire search statement into 1 line of the ERIC Advanced Search, or if I want to, I can paste it into ERIC's Expert Search box. It really is that simple. Speak ERIC's language and you have more control. I'll do that now. ERIC's Expert Search mode can be found by going to the blue bar, and where you see Basic, Advanced Search, right next to those is Expert Search. I'm going there now. And here it is. I've already copied my entire Boolean translation, ERIC syntax, and I'm going to just paste that in and hit search. There we go. Notice again how ERIC gives you back your syntax. It's actually a great way to learn about how to use ERIC syntax. But I also do want you to pay attention with some weird things that can happen. Here, for example, in beginning reading, there are 2 sets of quotes around that phrase. The same is true in reading readiness and the other subject phrases. Watch out too for the use of parentheses, which can be moved around a fair amount. So when you copy and paste again into your own documentation so that somebody else can replicate your search, take the time to fix it up. We're not done, even though we've now got 366 items retrieved, because once again, and importantly, we need to review the results. Scan through the retrieved dataset looking for items that appear to be pertinent to the patron question, and when you find good ones, open them up to look at the subject headings. I'll just scroll down here. Here's one, number 6, turn your boys into readers. I'll click on that. Open up the full record. It's a pretty new item. Actually, it was published in 2011. It talks right away about the differences between girls and boys in reading proficiency. Addresses it as a myth. Interesting. But then look at the subject headings and think, are there any that I might have missed in my search grid that I could put into my search? This helps you a whole lot. So even though I've already spent a pretty good amount of time with planning and running my search, it's not too late to improve it or to learn for future reference. I feel that every search I do is a series of decisions, and every search is a lesson for me. So in your worksheets, you're asked to experiment with the use of Boolean not to exclude some non-pertinent results. In a real-world search scenario, you may or may not need to do this. It's most useful when you appear to have a whole lot of non-pertinent items that can be taken out without also knocking out useful and pertinent items. And the easiest way to do this is to pick one or more non-pertinent records, and once you've made sure they really aren't pertinent, look at the abstract and subject headings to identify a subject heading you can safely exclude. I think number 14 here looks like it's something I don't really want. I don't think it's going to help our patron with their question. It's about professional student learning. I can tell that obviously just from the title. But scanning through, I noticed that it was published in College Teaching. Interesting. Well, I think that graduate students is probably one I can safely take out, or higher education. Although you want to be careful that when you take out a subject heading by using not, that there may not be also other items that cover everything from, say, grade school through college. In other words, don't throw out the baby with the bathwater. Choose a subject heading. Here's one, instruction. We already know that we don't want to focus on instruction. So I'm going to make that my not term just for the purpose of demonstration. And I'll copy that and go back to my search. I will add that not SU, and that's a single subject heading, instruction. Okay, so I've got my same search statement. Everything is exactly the same, but I've just added not to it. And I'll go ahead, and we had 366 records. So let's see what happens when we hit search on this. We've just knocked out more than 100 records. We may have taken out some that were pertinent, but don't feel that you can't redo something if you find that something's an error. So then again, you look at things for pertinence. So in this video, we've actually traveled a long way from an advanced search to expert search mode, combining all three facets and writing ERIC syntax directly to bypass some of the limitations of ERIC's advanced search. Overall, if I can give you one takeaway, it's to be patient and careful. It's really easy to overlook an extra space or a missed quote mark, but it makes all the difference in your successful search, and that's the goal. I hope this has helped your understanding. This is the last of 3 related videos about searching ERIC Firstsearch.